Well, things have been heating up in the courtroom, and it's definitely a case that's fueled debates among many hip-hop fans for the past 2 years. Grammy-nominated music artist Tory Lanez facing legal trouble involving Megan Thee Stallion, known for her chart-topping hits. The two have been rumored to have been in a love affair, are now facing off in a downtown LA courtroom. Megan Thee Stallion, whose real name is actually Megan Pete, is charging Tory for shooting her in the foot 2 years ago in the Hollywood Hills. Tory, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, is being charged with 3 felony counts: discharging a firearm with gross negligence, assault with a semi-automatic firearm, and carrying a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle. If he does get convicted, he will face 23 years behind bars. Tory has pleaded not guilty to the early morning hours this occurred on July 12, 2022, after a party in Los Angeles hosted by none other than the makeup mogul herself, Kylie Jenner. If you watch the video closely, you can see Tory laying face down on the ground about 10 plus feet from the vehicle as Megan walks away backwards with her hands in the air and what looks like limping and blood dripping from her foot. Skip a few minutes forward and we see Megan's assistant, Kelsey Harris, coming out of the back passenger door with her hands up. Prosecutors say that Mr. Lanez lashed out at Megan after she had criticized his rap abilities, firing towards her feet as she walked away from the vehicle they had both been riding in. The defense has disputed that Mr. Lanez fired the shots, suggesting it could have been another woman who they claim was upset that the two rappers had been intimate with each other. In an opening statement, the defense says this could actually be the case of jealousy, saying Kelsey had previous relationship with Tory and that it was actually Megan and Kelsey who got in the altercation. They also say that they saw a woman with a firearm. The prosecution said that Kelsey actually texted someone for help, saying that Tory Megan. Megan took to the stand on Tuesday during the assault trial against Lanez, testifying that she still had nerve damage after he shot her in the feet in the wake of the argument 2 years ago. The Savage rapper largely reiterated what she had told reporters and recounted on social media about the encounter, testifying that she initially misrepresented the events of the night to the police because tensions were high after the murder of George Floyd and was unsure of how the police would respond. Quote, "I did not want to talk to the officers because I didn't want to be a snitch." End quote. Megan went on saying that the fallout between her and Lanez has made her depressed and affected her career. She later explains she was a private person who was only speaking out to defend her name. Quote, "Because Tory has come out and told so many lies about me and making this all a scandal, people don't want to touch me. It feels like I'm sick bird." End quote. She also went on sharing some thoughts with the courtroom, saying, and I quote, "I can't hold conversations with people for a long time. I don't feel like I want to be on this earth. I wish he would have just shot and killed me. If I knew, I would have had to have gone through this torture." On the other hand, Tory Lanez has pleaded not guilty to all charges, still hasn't given any interviews about the events that occurred the night of the incident, but at the start of his trial, his lawyer, George, did say that the argument in the car had involved Kelsey Harris, Megan's assistant. She said she was angry she had found out that Megan and Tory had been in an intimate relationship together. One of Tory's songs titled Daystar, he rapped, and I quote, "If I got shot from behind, how can you identify me?" End quote. We still have yet to wait to find out whether Lanez plans to take to the stand. On another note, Kelsey Harris will testify she saw Lanez fire a semi-automatic 9mm handgun that did in fact wound the WAP artist in both feet in the early morning hours of July 12, 2022. Harris was Megan's best friend and assistant at the time of the incident. Some say she has been considered a wild card leading up to the trial, becoming more estranged from Megan over the past 2.5 years despite their prior close relationship. Los Angeles County Assistant Director Attorney Alexander Bott told jurors in an opening statement, "Kelsey will tell you that she just saw her close friend get shot by the defendant," also adding that Harris rushed to Megan's side as the hot girl rapper lay bleeding in a random driveway in Hollywood Hills. Bott said Harris will testify she freaked out when Lanez approached the two women after he fired 5 shots. He went on stating she didn't know what the defendant was capable of if he was going to continue his assault. Her defensive instincts kicked into gear and she approached the defendant. She'll tell you that the defendant physically assaulted her at that point. He pulled her hair and either punched her or slapped her. According to Bott, Megan and Kelsey were both terrified at the scene when they both agreed to get back into the car before he pulled over a short time later. He also told jurors that Harris managed to send 3 highly critical text messages to Megan's bodyguard, Justin Edison, in the 5 minutes following the shooting. Help! At 4:27 a.m., July 12, 2022, According to the visuals shown in the courtroom, Tory shot Meg on the next line, and the third bubble read 911. Now let's talk about the fact that Tory Lanez had brought his 5-year-old son to the courtroom the day of the trial. Of course, Lanez had an answer as to why he would bring his son Kalon to a shooting trial involving Megan Thee Stallion, and it was all about support. This clearly had raised some eyebrows from fans and anyone watching online, because we all know his son really had nothing to do with the case at all. Later on, as the trial had ended, Tory, you can see in full dad mode, with the 5-year-old leaving the courthouse with his son on his back as he jogged out to the vehicle, trying to avoid any reporters and any questions they had, saying, and I quote, "I'm actively trying to play Superman with my son, and y'all are stopping me." One reporter was able to squeeze in one question and get the answer. The question was, why did you bring your son to court today? And of course the answer was, he's my support system, and I'm his too. I guess at the end of the day, we all need our support system there by our side to help us through tough times. Now tell me, are you Team Savage or Team Daystar? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next video.